So let me start the class. Today I'll start the class with the topic of how pandemics have changed the world. Right? So they have triggered the collapse of empires, weakened the preeminent institutions, created social upheavals and ended wars. Right? So this is a great line of how pandemics have totally changed the world. So the headline itself gives us a picture. Pandemics triggered the collapse of empires, weakened preeminent institutions, created social upheavals, and ended wars. So this is what the change brought by pandemics. Right? So pandemics have a great influence in shaping human society. Right? So not just from the political point of view, but even from the society. Right? So here in this article, we will try to discuss how pandemics from the past, from the ancient times till COVID-19 have brought changes into the world, into the society. Right? That is from plague of 6th century to Spanish flu of last century, right, till today's COVID-19. Right? So here we will look at some of the deadliest pandemics and how they influence the course of human. We will try to discuss the deadliest pandemics. So Justinian plague, right? So one of the pandemic in the recorded history, right, which broke out in 6th century in Egypt and spread fast to the Constantinople, so which was the capital of Byzantine Empire. Right? So the plague, the name of the plague was named of the, right, the name of the disease was named after the then Byzantine Empire, Justinian. Right? So Justinian plague. Right? So Justinian was the ruler of Byzantine Empire. So this pandemic has killed nearly around 100 million people. 100 million people, right? And this Justinian plague brought an end to the mighty Byzantine Empire. Right? The empire has conquered, the empire which had conquered, right, most of the Mediterranean coast, including Italy, right, Rome, and northern Africa. Right? So this plague has brought down the empire. Justinian plague has brought down the empire of Byzantine. Right? A mighty empire which got brought down, right, which was totally brought down by this plague. So this is how the world got changed, right? And not only the empire got disappeared, but even along with the not only the disease got disappeared, but along with the disease, right, we see the disappearance of the entire empire. Right? So this is what the effect. Right? So here the effect of this plague was mostly seen on the armies of Byzantine Empire. Right? So by which the army got weakened, and all those territories which were under the control of Byzantine, they were occupied by other successive empires. That is, so most of the empire lost its territories in Europe to the German-speaking Franks, Egypt, and Syria to the Arabs. Right? So Syria and Egypt lost to Arabs, whereas the German-speaking France took over the control of European territory. So this is what about plague, Justinian plague. Right? Another disease, right, which has impacted the world is Black Death. So that hit Europe and Asia around 14th century. Right? Around 14th century, which led to the death of nearly around 200 million people. Right? Where by this pandemic nearly 50% of European population has died. 50% of Europeans have died. So one of the one of the historians, right, Siddle had said that, right, in the words of Stanford historian Walter Siddle, right, pandemics are one of the four horsemen that have flattened inequalities. Right, pandemics are one of the four horsemen, right, that have flattened inequalities. Simply, the inequalities were brought on by the inequalities were flattened. The inequalities were reduced by pandemics. So pandemics also have a role in reducing the inequalities. Right. So the other three are wars, revolutions, and state failures. Right. So in his book Great Levelers, the Great Levelers, right. So the this historian Walter Siddle has brought, right, in his book The Great Leveler, the historian Walter Siddle writes that how Black Death led to the improved wages of agricultural laborers, right, where land became more abundant, right, and the wages of the workers increased by 3 times because there was an increased demand for labor force, right. So this is what the impact of a pandemic, right. So pandemics have led to reduction in inequalities, particularly the wages were raised, the wages were increased, both of the workers as well as the agriculture laborers, right. So this is a normal consequence, of a pandemic, right, which is seen in the 14th century Europe as well as Asia, right. So and another significant effect of this pandemics is reduced influence of religion. So here Black Death was perhaps one of the reasons for the weakening of Catholic Church and other institutions. The influence of church got reduced, all right, and even it has strengthened the Protestant Reformation, right. So the influence of church, the influence of clergy got reduced by these pandemics, all right. So just now we have used a word called saying that it reduces inequalities, social inequalities, the reduce the difference between the clergy and the commons, it will be reduced, the difference between the wealthy and the poor, it will be reduced, right. So this is a result, this is a lesson that is been taught from history, right, through pandemics, right. So another important pandemic, right, which was well known, right, and which has a long influence was Spanish flu, right, which broke during the era of First World War, and uh, and it was seen as the deadliest pandemic of the last century, right, which killed up to 50 million people, which killed around 50 million people, right. And this Spanish flu was seen as the reason for the defeat of Germany, all right. So Germany and Austria, right. So even one of the German generals, right, wrote in their memories about the effect of this deadliest Spanish flu, where they this general, right, memorizes that, right, this disease affected the frontline army, right, which has weakened the frontline army, and ultimately the losing the territories occupied by Germany, right. So that is what the effect of Spanish flu, and ultimately it is not just the defeat of Germany, but entire First World War has brought down, right. The First World War has come to an end, right. So that is how we can say that pandemics have triggered collapse of empire, right, weakened preeminent institutions, created social upheavals, and ended wars. Every word in the line is been proved here. If take this collapse of empire, it was Byzantine Empire, weakened preeminent institutions, it is like church, Catholic Church, the clergy, right. It created social upheavals, right? We see labor class, the agrarian laborers, the what do you call agrarian laborers working in the industries, they got demand, their wages were increasing. All right, so this is what the social upheavals. There was an end-to-end war, the example of First World War. All right, so pandemics can be seen as one of the levelers of society, right? Leveling all the inequalities, removing all the inequalities, right? So this is what the outcomes of a pandemic. So whenever we had a pandemic, these are the outcomes. Now let us see how this COVID-19 will bring a change. So already we are seeing a change in the form of state models. Already we are seeing a change in the global world order. We are seeing a change in the economic models adopted by the states. We are seeing a change in the production models, production process. We see a change in the role of state, right? So every pandemic brings a change in the society, right? The so-called developed countries, now they are facing the brunt of this COVID-19, right? So the Western world lies exposed to the attack of virus. So both democratic and dictatorial, at imposing drastic restrictions on the people's movement. All right. So the Western world lies exposed to the attack of virus. Unemployment rate has increased in US, right, which was even equal and more than that of the levels that of Second World War, right? So every country is involved in artificially stimulating their economies, which is against the principle of free market economies. Stimulation of their economy. Every government across the world, all right, they are spending money to stimulate an economy. All right, so this is what the article published in the today's Hindu paper. Right, so how pandemics have changed the world. Now, do you really accept that there will be a change? All right, so yes, the answer is yes, definitely there will be a follow-up change whenever there is a pandemic. All right, so let us see the reasons of how this virus spreads. Let us talk about some of the basic facts, right? So let us talk about how these changes have come. Right, so let me talk about plague first. So plague is caused by the bacterial infection, right? Yersinia pestis. It is a bacterial infection. It is caused by bacterial infection, right? Yersinia pestis. Yersinia pestis, right, which is usually found in small mammals as well as fleas. Right? It is normally found in small mammals. Right, and their fleas. So it is normally transmitted between animals. Normally transmitted between animals, right, through their fields via fleas. So fleas are the main causing elements of plague. Right, and it also it also transmits from animals to humans. Also transmits from animals to humans. though it is rare, but the most it is, right, most deadliest. It is most deadliest. All right. So you can take right, the top the Byzantine Empire, or you take the Black Death disease. So they are caused by plague. Right. So here I have given the extent of Roman Byzantine Empire. Right. So this is what the Roman Byzantine Empire. Right. So this is the line. This is the boundary of Byzantine Empire, and you can make all these locations clearly. Right. The Black Sea. Right. Here you can see Mediterranean Sea, Black Sea. Now where it is visible to you? Where it is visible to you? Yes. Right. So this is what the entire location. So please do take a pic of this so that it will be helpful for your future references. Right. So this is what about plague. Right. So a plague which is responsible for what do you call the fall of the Constantinople. So the Byzantine Empire was taken over by Ottoman Empire. Right. Ottoman Empire. So this is what the Constantinople, Byzantine. So Byzantine is a place. Byzantine is a place in between Europe and Asia. Europe and Asia. Right. So this is what the Byzantine, a small colony, right, which connected Europe and Asia. Right. So this is what about plague and its causing agents. Next, we have discussed about Spanish flu. We have discussed about Spanish flu, which was a reason. Spanish flu, which was a reason for fallout of Germans in the First World War. Right. So it was one of the reasons, right, caused by one of the reasons for the end of Second World War. It was one of the reasons for end of Second World War. Right. So it was caused by a viral infection. So it was a virus, H1N1 virus, influenza virus. It is influenza virus, right, which was the reason. Right. So this spread the entire world in 1918, particularly in Europe and Asia. Europe and Asia are the two continents which got affected by this H1N1 virus, all right, avian influenza, right, and avian influenza, all right. So now it is this. There was no drug, no vaccine, or no antibody. No antibiotics were found, or none of them were discovered to control this Spanish flu. Right. The best way of fighting against this Spanish flu was isolation, quarantine, at a good personal hygiene, and use of disinfectants. Right. So for the first time, it was in this Spanish flu case, right, isolation, quarantine, disinfectants, at good hygiene. Good hygiene were used to control this spread of Spanish flu. Right. So now we are using the same methodology or same kind of response to fight against COVID-19, right? So this is what about Spanish flu. So Spanish flu is a viral infection caused by influenza virus, that is H1N1 influenza virus, right? Where, right, this it is it is originated from it is originated or it is spread through avian influenza or avians, that is through bats, right? So this is about Spanish flu, right? So these are the two things which are mentioned in today's Hindus paper, right? So this is what about. So here I am giving a picture of those countries which were involved in the First World War, right? So you can take a glimpse of those countries which are involved in First World War, right? So am I clear to you? Am I clear to you with this topic? Right? So here, next we move on to the another topic. Next we move on to the other topic. So this is what the topic we have discussed till now. That is how pandemics have changed the world, right? And we have discussed their location, their causing agents, right? So let us move towards another topic, that is outdated census keep 10 crore out of PDS, says economists, right? So here simply the article is about outdated census keep nearly 10 crore people out of PDS, right? So the issue is the census that is being used in providing the basic food grains under National Food Security Mission, right, is outdated, and because of this data nearly 10 crore people will be out of reach of these food grains. That is 10 crore people will not receive the benefits that are being given to the poor people during the lockdown period, right? So the blame here is the data that is being used in providing the food grains or in distribution of food grains, right? So the public distribution system, right, using outdated 2011 census, right, to calculate state-wise National Food Security Act coverage, right? So to calculate the state-wise National Food Security Act, the disastrous impact of this gap is seen in the middle of crippling lockdown, as people who have lost their livelihoods depend upon PDS for their survival, right? So now it is it is in this crucial period, that is in the middle of lockdown, where we can expect the severe impact of this outdated data, because during this lockdown period most of the people have lost their livelihoods, right? Most of the people, particularly the migrant workers, the daily wage workers, they have lost their employment, and they are entirely dependent on the food grains distributed by the state. Now here in this context, right, the outdated data which do not represents all the beneficiaries, the real beneficiaries, is cause of concern, right? So if you take this figures, another importance of this is this data uses per capita expenditure mark, right, to identify the beneficiary under the PDS coverage, right? And based upon the data brought by National Sample Survey, the numbers are calculated in terms of absolute figures, right? So the numbers are determined in absolute figures, not in percentage times, right? So based upon the methodology of per capita expenditure benchmark, right, and the data given by NSSO, right, absolute figures are being taken out based upon 2011 census, right. So according to this data only, right, 80 or 80 crores of people will be covered under the benefits. Only 80 crore people are covered for benefit under distribution of PDS, right. So leaving aside the remaining people, right. So let me talk this very in a simple way. Distribution of food grains to the people, to the poor people, right, particularly those people who have lost their employment, right, and it is more important to distribute these food grains in the middle of lockdown. Now here this food distribution is made, right, under NFSA, that is National Food Security Act of 2013, right. So food is being distributed according to the National Food Security Act of 2013, which uses 2011 census, to identify the poor, to identify the beneficiary, where by this 2011 census, according to this National Food Security Act, 75% of poor in rural areas, and 50% of poor from urban areas. So this is the target under NFSA, right. So covering 75% of poor people in rural areas and 50% of poor people in urban areas. So which cumulatively stands out around 67% of poor, right. So averagely it is covering 67% of total poor population, right, 67% of population of India, right. So 67% of population, right, will be given food grains under National Food Security Act. So here we are using the data of 2011 census. Right. So where according to 2011 census, total population of India, is around 121 crores. Now here under NFSA, 67% of 121 crores will be given food grains. So which is around, so if you take this 67% of 121, right, so it stands around 80 crores. So it is this 80 crore people who are identified by the government to provide. So 80 crore people in different states, right, are identified, right, in different states are identified for providing food security, for providing food security, right? Now government has used this figure. So this is what the absolute figures, this is what the absolute figures used by government in providing the food distribution. Alright, now if you take the present census, if you take the present projected population, if you take projected population of India by 2020, right, it stands around nearly 131 crores. It stands around 131 crores. Alright, so if we apply the same logic of 67% of people, let us think that still based upon the methodology used by the NSS4, that is per capita expenditure, if you take 67% of 131 crores, right? So now it stands around something around 90 or 95 crores, in between 90 to, so it will be in between, right, approximately it will be around 92 crores. So that means basic ration is given to 80 crore population or 80 crore poor people under NFSA. Same, it is the same 80 crore people who are still being given the basic ration, right? Whereas now the figure stands to be around 92 crores. That is 92 crores are real beneficiaries, right? 92 crores are real beneficiaries. That means here nearly 12 crore people are losing their livelihood. So if this methodology is applied, if absolute figures are used in providing the food grains, in distribution of food grains, then around 12 crore people will lose their livelihood. 12 crore people will lose the benefits given by the state. Now this is what the article points out. So this 12 crore will slip from the benefits, right? And it is these people who are facing the problem of hunger deaths. It is these 12 crore people. Recently we have seen, right, a mother killing 5 of her children and herself committing a suicide because of out of fear of hunger, right? So this is a clear instance of hunger deaths, right? And that is the reason why India faces hunger deaths in this category of people, right? So the problem is in wrong methodology adopted, and no government is willing to provide new ration cards, right? If you take the case of Jharkhand, where we always see the reports of hunger deaths, right? Nearly from 2016 onwards till date, no new ration cards were given in Jharkhand. So this itself shows. It is not just case of Jharkhand, but you take many states. Every state in India has the same problem. So no new ration cards are being given. The purpose of this is to maintain their own targets in providing the distribution of food grains, right? The main problem of this is achieving their targets in food distribution. So here achieving targets means every state has limited its own food grain distribution, and it won't go beyond that. No state want to go beyond the targeted level. Alright, so here if you take for entire nation, the targeted beneficiaries are only 80 crores and no nation. So here it is not, we are not able to move beyond 80 crore people. Right. So this is what about the topic. The article came in Hindu paper. So it is not on the census. So it is on the projected population. It is on the projected population. Food grain should be distributed. Food grain should be distributed. Right. So this is what about the article is. Alright. So here we have a figure. Uttar Pradesh, the coverage under according to 2011 census is around 15.21. Now based upon the 2020 estimates, that is projected population of 2020, it will stands around 18.06 crore. Alright. So now the people who are losing the benefits is 2.80. Similarly, the case of Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, right, entirely. So this is what the figure is. How many people are losing, right? So this problem will be worsened in the present lockdown periods. This problem will be worsened in the present lockdown periods, right? So this is what about the issues. So you can use this information to write a very good answer in essays, as well as the topics of poverty, hunger, public distribution system in India. So in all these areas you can use this article. Am I clear to you?